Welcome to the Midnight Milkshake podcast. I'm Dana.
And I'm Robert. Charlie Kirk. The war in the Middle East. Bisexuals, to what degree are they milking it for attention? On today's episode, we're literally not going to talk about fucking any of that.
Maybe one of them.
No, we're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
Midnight
Milkshake. Robert, what will we do if our child is more famous than us?
Okay, first off, I can't even believe you would ask me that question because you know there's a good chance that I'm going to puke all over the mic.
Because of the fame intimidation or because of the child?
Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Why would you puke?
I don't know. Well,
are you feeling sick? Did you eat something weird?
No, I'm just like the idea that like our child would be more famous than us. But also, I mean, would that, not even trying to be rude, would that even be hard? We're not particularly famous.
But I'm just saying but we don't have a child yet, is
That's
my
true.
point. So in my mind, it's like, I guess this is what I'm saying. I have this deep-seated fear that in order to achieve the life of my dreams and the level of notoriety that I've always hoped to obtain, I will have to Kris Jenner it. And to Kris Jenner it refers to the fact that I would have to have multiple children who would all have to be freaking stars in order for anyone in the public sphere to give a shit about me the way that I'd like them to give a shit about
But
me.
well, you're saying that like that's like a really bad challenge. Kris Jenner kind of has a pretty good situation.
No, she has a great situation. I'm just saying, like, it didn't happen for her till she was 50, 55.
Yeah, but it's not like Kris Jenner was in line at a soup kitchen until Kim's sex tape leaked. Kris Jenner was living a pretty good life.
I know she wasn't in line at a soup kitchen, but I'm not in line at a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm just, do you know what I'm saying? Because if that is my arc, shouldn't we start getting busy, having babies?
Well, okay, I will point this out. Kris Jenner had a baby, Courtney, and that wasn't the ticket. You know what I mean?
Move the needle.
It didn't move the needle.
Well, again, she had to have multiple children, and then she had to develop and release a sex tape with one of them.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Also, I don't even, who alleged it? Every person on the internet I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I've not heard anyone refute it.
I've never heard anyone refute it.
Famously, did you know there's 3 versions of the sex tape? And Kris hand selected which version she
Allegedly.
thought would make the biggest splash.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Do I believe in the 3 versions of the Kim Kardashian sex tape? I can't say I give it too much thought.
Have you seen it?
The Kim Kardashian sex tape? Not in full. I've never seen it in full.
How do you know what the full version is?
Well,
where would one see it?
Because I think for the Kim Kardashian sex tape, it's like a thing you have to buy.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's like online in full anywhere.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, it seems like you know a lot about it. You know about the hidden lore of the 3 alternate versions. I haven't seen the released version. I have seen one of the 2 unreleased alternates.
And what's on it?
Well, it's pretty much the same thing, except for mid-sex tape, a portal opens up to the underworld. And she says, I will do as you bid, master. Give me what I desire. And from the underworld, you hear, Kanye West. Blah, blah, blah. And I see why they took it out, because at the time, it wouldn't even make sense. Nobody even connected Kim and Kanye.
Well, I think Kris watched that version and she was like, they're not ready for this level of truth.
And then she leaned down to the portal that's always open in Kris Jenner's office and went, they're not ready yet.
They're not ready yet.
Yeah. We are watching Keeping Up. We just clicked on a random season and it's like season 9. It's like just after the Khloe and Lamar divorce, just after who we then knew as Bruce Jenner moved out of the house.
Yeah. It was peak ponytail separation hours between then Bruce and Kris.
And Kim Kardashian is living with Kanye in Kris Jenner's house. You sit there and it is just like, I know what you don't know.
Well, there's such a dramatic irony to watching a reality TV show retroactively. Right now, we're watching Rob, and he's beginning his weight loss journey. And
we happen to know that is in fact not the journey he's on.
That's not the journey he's on. But they don't know that. Like, the episode starts with Rob being like, I feel fat. I want to lose weight. The episode ends with Rob at a trainer being like, I'm on my road back to my healthy body.
And then credits roll with good inspirational music.
Yeah.
But I know what happens.
We know that he went on to get even fatter. And again, value neutral, but like what a crazy...
Just to know that.
Well, the dramatic irony is
What does
palpable.
separate the Kardashians from other reality shows, though, is most reality shows, the characters on the show, you're only around them for a few years. Do you know what I mean? It's like most reality shows are like, it's like some celebrity and you follow them around for maybe a season or two. The successful ones go like 6 seasons.
Yeah.
The Kardashians, like you're following the same family for legitimately 20 plus years.
We literally get to watch Kendall and Kylie go from being literal children to growing up.
Yeah.
We get to watch Kylie's swan-like transformation.
We get to watch Khloe, Courtney, Kim, Kris go from human rich women to they look like aliens.
Well, we get to watch demonic possession happening in real time.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And that's really the benefit of reality TV. But you're basically wondering, like, what if you're the Kris Jenner?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, is my destiny Kris Jenner? Like, is my destiny, I'll be really honest. Right now, I, Dana Donnelly, my goal is to be famous and have my own TV shows. And
You've thought of yourself as the Kim.
I always thought of myself as a Kim my whole life.
Yeah.
But as I get older, I start to wonder if that isn't my arc. If my arc is, because I know I will be famous at some point. I don't know when it will happen. And again, yeah, more and more as I get older every day, I go, oh, is the ticket through my kids? Do I need to birth to blossom?
And I will say a big tenet of like the Kris Jenner character is in her mind, she's the Kim. Like
Yes.
she sees Kim and she's like, they don't know that I'm actually also Kim.
Well, and again, Kris Jenner did invent Kim Kardashian. Kris Jenner walked so Kim could run.
Yeah.
Obviously. And like, I mean, I look at all of this generation of really famous Nepo babies where I'm like, does Blythe Danner feel that way about Gwyneth Paltrow? Does she look at Gwyneth and go, ugh, like, yeah, you're more famous than me, but you'd be nothing without me?
Well, I don't even know who Blythe Danner is, so.
She's like a relatively successful actress over time.
I believe you. I completely believe you.
Yeah.
But this reminds me of, speaking of Nepo babies, there is a new advertising campaign at Gap. We walked into Gap and it's Gwyneth Paltrow and her daughter, who I think also is trying to become a model.
Yeah.
And the advertisement, the commercial is just Gwyneth Paltrow and her daughter both wearing like Gap clothes and basically dancing, going back to back and like doing poses and having to like shimmy shoulder to shoulder. And I'm like, I'm just imagining if in order for me to go to work, my work was I had to show up and then I had to like shimmy dance against my mom.
Well, they're doing 6th grade dance grinding.
Yeah.
Like it's as if they're 2 6th graders with a crush on each other in an MP room.
They're just like doing a lot of
Like,
this. If it was like, hey, Robert, we'll pay you a bunch of money if tomorrow you show up and then you and your mom put on Gap clothes and just, this is what you have to do, I would simply decline. I would say I'm going to go flip burgers.
I would do it for the right price.
What would that price be for you? To go and have to shimmy dance with your mom at Gap?
Honestly, not very high.
Yeah, I think you would just want to do that.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Okay.
I guess I'm not that bothered by it. I think the reason I would be bothered by it if I was Gwyneth or Gwyneth's daughter is I would think that the world owed me better than that. Like I, Dana Donnelly, would be fine with that. I think that would be an interesting opportunity for me.
Mm-hmm. But also your mom is not more famous than you.
My mom
so
is
there
not more
wouldn't be that power dynamic. You would be able to walk into the room knowing you're almost doing a favor to your mom.
Yeah.
Whereas Gwyneth's daughter is like, yeah, you booked the commercial part.
Yeah.
But mom's coming with you.
Also, I think there is a level there where it's like, if I'm her daughter, I'm like, can't you just fucking give me allowance, dude?
Yeah.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like,
well, but a lot of those Nepo babies is like they have pride on making it on their own.
Right.
And by making it on their own, it's like not making it on their own, but kind of pretending, you know?
Doing a commercial with their parents.
They want to book the commercial because they're Gwyneth Paltrow's daughter, but they don't want Gwyneth Paltrow to be there because it's like, Mom.
Yeah, Mom, what are you doing
What
here?
are you doing?
I booked this on my own using your name and clout.
Yeah. And Gwyneth Paltrow's like, goop.
Yeah.
I love Gwyneth Paltrow. I've talked about this at length.
I mean, we're huge Gwyneth fans.
We're huge Gwyneth fans.
But that's what I was saying where I'm like, so there is a version where my destiny is Kris Jenner, which would be, again, I'm not begrudging Kris Jenner her success and her flowers. Like, I think that Kris Jenner is so admirable. I think what she's managed to do is incredible. She's built, an unprecedented empire using the sexual energy of her daughters.
I mean, I didn't love it when you just said it, but as I think about it, that you could say that.
And other kinds of energy as well.
Yeah.
If that was my destiny, obviously I'm like, wow, what a life to live.
She's lived a fantastic life.
But it's just like, reconciling that I thought
You would be Kim.
I thought I would be Kim.
But again, I would say, I would just point out there, if you say, oh no, is my destiny Kris Jenner, one of the most famous, richest people on planet Earth, it's just like, so what? Your fame is slightly adjacent to someone else's fame?
I'm just saying, do I have 20 more years of relative anonymity?
But Kris Jenner wasn't really living in relative anonymity. She was living as a member of the 1%. She had a front row seat to the O.J. Simpson trial. I mean, her friend had her head chopped off by someone who tried to then frame O.J. Simpson.
I just don't know if all of that would be enough for me.
What would be enough? It seems like it also wouldn't be enough if you were the Kim Kardashian, but then had to share the spotlight with your family members.
You know, we'll table this, but I am just like wondering, like, should we just get started on having babies? Do I resign myself to my Kris Jenner fate? Or do I continue to try to accumulate star and notoriety childless?
Yeah.
What do you think?
You know what's so funny? I'm just thinking of like how many factory workers and coal miners are having this exact conversation. As they're in the mine, hammering away at the wall, and they're like, so I'm starting to work. I might have to have kids to get famous. And then someone else is like, oh, you mean like your Kris Jenner era?
Yeah, the coal miners are assessing whomst amongst them has a Kris Jenner versus
But yeah,
Kim
you're talking about Kris Jenner's. Again, Kris Jenner before Kim Kardashian was again married to a super successful rich lawyer and then a super successful rich athlete. She was a member of high society. She did run in celebrity circles. It's like she had a good deal.
In celebrity circles though.
You want there to be a circle around you, and you're the celebrity.
I want to be famous right now of my own accord without ever having to establish proximity to other celebrities. I don't want my star to come from proximity to other stars.
But I will point this out, even with Kim, it's like, I think part of what made Kim so famous was like every star is proximate to some other star, and Kim always made herself proximate to some other celebrity.
Well, I mean, she was like literally Paris Hilton's closet assistant.
I mean, I would say proximate to Paris Hilton, proximate to Ray J, very proximate, some would say. And then eventually, like, her own families became stars. Taylor Swift, Kanye West. Kim Kardashian has kind of always been Pete Davidson. She's kind of always been like drawing on other people's star power. And that's kind of what she's, I guess, been able to do.
But I guess that's not what I want for myself. I don't want to have to draw from other people's star power.
So you don't want to be like a Kim Kardashian who sometimes draws from other people's star power. You don't want to be like a Kris Jenner
who births my stars.
Yeah. You want to be more like I guess in this world, you want to be more like an O.J. Simpson. Someone who literally came from like nothing and just on your own strength and talent became a beloved celebrity before
kind of
other
like
stuff
OJ,
happened.
Pre other stuff.
Pre the other stuff. Well, we've landed on this. We started with what if you need to have children get famous, and then we landed on what if I was O.J. Simpson. Not bad.
Not bad.
This is one thing. Like the other day at the gym, I accidentally wore a shirt that was kind of dirty. Like, well, it was just like I hadn't washed it. I thought it was a clean shirt. It was kind of like an unwashed shirt, and I realized mid-workout that I was stinky, and it literally felt like I was like that person in the zombie apocalypse who gets bit but doesn't want anyone to find out. You know, I'm just like avoiding eye contact, like trying to keep my distance from other people.
As if everyone doesn't know that you're the gym stinky.
Yeah, and meanwhile, everyone else around me is like, there's something weird about that guy.
Also, it is so real that like the second that you get a whiff of stinky, you immediately source the stink.
Yeah.
Like you figure out who it is and you are mad at them.
Well, every time I've ever smelled something stinky at the gym, I can zero in. If there's like a group of four and I'm getting a stinky smell, I can zero in on who it is. Yeah. But in this case, again, it was me, and there's something so embarrassing about that. And I think it's that I smelled bad. Also, like I was like on a Stairmaster and there was no one next to me, and I'm like, good. And I did that on purpose for the good of the people. And I'm like, good, this is great. Again, it's almost like when a werewolf chains themselves to a tree on the night of a full moon. It's like, I will take this Stairmaster. I will be away from the villagers, from the townspeople. As I'm like on my Stairmaster, a woman walks up and she gets on the Stairmaster right next to me. And like, what I want to be able to do is be like, hey, you don't want to use this one. I'm really stinky today.
Yeah.
But of course I can't do that. But then it's almost like I'm clearly stinky and she knows it, but now I have to pretend I don't know it because that's less awkward.
Yeah. And then you don't even know what's going through her head, where maybe she realizes you're stinky, but then she like doesn't want to move because she doesn't want you to think that she's moving because you're stinky.
Yeah.
There's so many layers.
And then we're both in my own stink cloud. Neither of us want to be there.
Yeah. There should be some sort of invention where if someone near you is stinky, you can like spray something in your own nose so you can't smell them. You know what I mean? Like deodorant that protects you against other people's odors.
smells.
Isn't that a good idea?
Well, that's a great idea.
It's kind of amazing that hasn't been invented
Well,
yet.
you know what? This feels like an episode of Black Mirror or something where it's like the spray would remove negative smells, but then you realize that the negative smells are what make life worth living.
That's so true.
The kind of stinkiness of the gym is part of the gym.
Well, apparently losing your sense of smell can leads to suicide. I don't have the statistics on that.
Yeah.
But apparently smell is a huge thing for liking being alive.
Well, a big part of taste is also smell.
Right.
So it's it also deadens foods.
Well, I remember I had a really brief period where I had a flu or COVID or something a couple years ago. And I truly thought I was never going to be able to eat food again. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. You were patient zero for COVID. You were the first one who got it. And you were like, should I quarantine? And then I was like, no, let's just go back to America. What's the worst that could happen? And then you started the pandemic. And Dr. Fauci, come in here.
I saw someone at an event we were at that was wearing a Fauci is hot shirt.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's a throwback to when everyone wanted to F Fauci.
I mean, there is that certain, why can't you just say you like somebody? It's that certain type of person who's like, I have to be I want to fuck them.
Well, I think that actually is a millennial phenomenon because
it's millennial will be like, bacon is sexy.
Right. Like, fuck me, bacon.
Yeah. Fuck me, bacon.
Yeah. I want bacon in my pussy. That's millennial humor.
Well, you know what's funny?
Right?
It's someone can say bacon is sexy, and we're all like, that's so funny, great graphic tee. But if someone's like, I want bacon, if you wear a shirt that says, I want bacon in my dripping pussy, suddenly you're ruining the vibe.
Well, I think the bacon would be what's dripping.
Well, let's work this out.
Okay.
Can we get a whiteboard?
The sweaters, the Christmas sweaters that said "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals."
Yeah.
That were very millennial. I think that's what millennial edginess is. It's just
it's the illusion
words
of edge.
Dirty or filthy.
Yeah. Whereas if I wear a shirt that's like, Merry Christmas, you fucking dirty taint butthole dickhole full of shit and piss. I'm not allowed to eat dinner with the family.
Yeah.
My millennial mom could be
Merry
like,
shitmas.
Merry Christmas, you dirty animals. And if I wore a shirt that says, you're all dirty piss animals, you're soaked in piss, and everyone smells the piss when you walk in. So remember a few years ago, I feel like it was right after COVID, suddenly there was hot chicken places popping up. There was 80 Dave's Hot Chickens all over the city.
Dave's Hot Chicken became the new McDonald's. There was an unprecedented amount. If you've had Dave's Hot Chicken, you know it's not the kind of meal that you could eat for lunch every day.
Well, it's the kind of meal even when I've had the hot chicken, but okay, I would have it, and even if I liked it, I'm like, okay, my whole day's ruined, and also I can't have this again for 8 months at minimum. I can't have it again until I forget what it was like to have it. It's kind of like childbirth in that way. Eating hot chicken. It's like I eat it, and then I need my brain to trick me into thinking well, that wasn't messy and terrible.
Which I think that's actually a good idea. Is when I'm giving birth to our child, who will be why we're famous, you can eat hot chicken.
And that way we'll both forget.
And that way we'll both forget.
We'll both forget the whole experience.
Right.
But anyway, it does seem like because we drove by a Dave's Hot Chicken that no one was ever in, and it was closed, and the hot chicken bubble burst. Well, it's like when there was that frozen yogurt bubble that popped up a few years ago, and it's the difference was people were eating frozen yogurt.
Not even a few years ago. I think
it was a decade ago.
The frozen yogurt bubble started ballooning in the early 2000s, and it probably popped in the 2010s.
And I do think what's good about the frozen yogurt, there's still demand for frozen yogurt though, because there's still some around, and we'll still get it.
There's a smattering of pinkberries, but again, they used to have pinkberry in every corner. But yeah, when we saw that the Dave's Hot Chicken had closed, we thought nature is healing because there were never supposed to be that many hot chicken places. It's just not that popular a food.
Yeah. Okay, this is one of my biggest pet peeves that I've noticed specifically amongst, I would say, very centrist, liberal people is they'll be like, I can get along with someone even if they have different politics than me. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. I can get along with someone who has different politics with me. But I hate it when people say that, but they won't be specific. You know what I mean? It's yeah, me and my dad, we disagree on politics, but we still get along. It's and then everyone enjoys that. It makes them feel good and warm that, oh, good, even though you disagree, you can still get along. But it's that's only because you're being vague. Oh, you're hiding behind being vague. Because if you said my dad thinks abortion is murder and I disagree with him, I think abortion is great. Hey, I still let him pay my phone bill. That sentence doesn't make anyone feel good.
No.
But if you go hey, everyone in my family, we may not agree, but we can still sit down together. That's like a fantasy that like scratches an itch and like the centrist mind for some reason.
Well, again, I'm like, yeah, stop omitting the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make sweeping statements like, oh, we're able to see eye to eye despite our varying political beliefs, like let's hear about the varying political beliefs.
Yeah.
And again, I think, okay, here's my thing with like the whole, oh, my dad thinks abortion is murder. I think abortion is great. How do we see eye to eye? I decided that murder is great.
Yes, it's meeting in the middle.
Right. It's like some sort of logical compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do we take issues and realize that actually we can both have our cake and eat it too?
Well, it's like my dad thinks guns are great.
Yeah.
I think guns are bad. What's our compromise? We both got swords.
Yeah.
And that way it's like we are meeting in the middle.
Right.
You have to get specific. You have to get into the nitty gritty.
I'm trying to think of like another controversial issue.
Yeah.
Our compromise is no school.
Sorry, just in case that clip started being run in some sort of like mass hate campaign online, I just didn't want to be in fame.
But you do see what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy? I do see where you were trying to go with it. I guess like a good way to sum this up is like I hate it when people kind of hide behind like being vague because they know that being specific will upset you. So it's like when someone wears a Christmas sweater that says Merry Christmas, you dirty animals. And it's like, well, no, tell the truth. Merry Christmas to us. We're all piss-soaked little pig bitch getting pegged little bloody fuck pigs.
Be specific.
Just what's so hard about that? And that's what's wrong with this country.
And that's what's wrong with this country.
Halloween is coming up. Dana and I have been talking about what our couple's costume will be. And by talking about it, I mean Dana has been brainstorming and I've been sitting in fear as I watch her typing in a notes app.
As I always say, threateningly, I'm excited to tell you my couple's costumes ideas, babe.
It's April. It's like fucking April. You're like, I've got a great idea for a couple's Halloween costume.
I will say I am record unexcited for Halloween this year, and I don't know what it is. Is it just that I'm 30? Like, is there something in the air? Is it the fact that we don't have any Halloween plans?
The month is still young. That's also a thing that I think sometimes gets glossed over. It's like throughout our 20s, like we would go hard for Halloween. Like we would go out. We would see people. We would party. There was one Halloween we had 3 different couples costumes over the course of 3 different days.
No, yeah.
We were Carrie and Mr. Big. We were
MGK and Megan Fox,
who have since broken up. Tragic.
Peace.
And then
Same
we were
with Carrie and Big. I mean, Big died on a Peloton.
And then we were also Ethan Klein and Trisha Paytas from Frenemies, who also have since broken up.
Oh God.
Not a great track record.
No, and we were also, most recent costume that I liked of ours was Elle Woods and Bruiser Woods.
But Elle Woods and Bruiser have since broken up.
No,
they had a vicious breakup.
What happened?
Bruiser's brothers moved into Elle's condo, and Elle didn't know how to tell him to move out.
That's horrible. My Halloween costume bitches, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, number 1. Clifford and Clifford's hot owner.
Who will be who?
You will be Clifford. You're already wearing red.
There we go.
So, audience, can you picture it? Do you like that idea?
I didn't even know Clifford had like an owner. I thought Clifford like kind of belonged to the town, like the Chicago Bean or something.
But that's why I liked this costume idea, because I can invent what the hot owner looks like.
Does Clifford have a hot owner?
I don't think so. But
Clifford the big red dog, and then Clifford's owner with the big giant boobs.
Yeah, with the big cans. Clifford the big red dog, and Clifford's hot owner with the big hot cans.
Like I also like he doesn't have an owner, right, in the books?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's kind of autonomous. He's a lot of independence for a dog.
Yeah.
But because he's so big.
Well, he's kind of like a Lovecraftian monster. He's kind of like Cthulhu, you know what I mean?
Right. Does Cthulhu have a hot owner? Which brings me to number 2, Cthulhu's hot owner.
Cthulhu and Cthulhu's hot owner. And I will, of course, be Cthulhu. And you will be the hot owner.
Yeah. Do you like that one better?
Dude, you fuck me on these couples Halloween costumes.
Okay,
you fuck me.
Okay.
Well, it's what I've always said about couples Halloween costumes. It's like the couples Halloween costumes, when you first start dating, it's like you both get to be sexy. You both get to be hot. But then when you've been together a while, like, okay, when we first start dating, like the couples costume will be like MGK and Megan Fox.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Joker and Harley Quinn. Like we're both edgy. And then you like date for a while, and then it's going to become like Harley Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn's old sick dog she adopted from a shelter and doesn't really have time to take care of anymore.
Well, because I think it's my desire to be funny, really, that takes over. I want to be so hot, but I want the costume to be
prove
funny,
that you're
to
funny,
prove that I'm funny,
which means that you
the
put all
joke
the
has
funny
to be
on
on
me.
you. Yeah, the joke ultimately has to be on you.
Yeah.
It has to be like, I'm a really hot girl and you are
Something really
my
funny.
little rat dog.
I'm a little rat dog.
Okay,
what else do you have?
I have Kermit and Miss Piggy, which I thought we could do like sexy Kermit and sexy Miss Piggy.
Okay, that's fair.
You
I
would
guess
be
that's
Kermit,
fair.
I'd be Miss Piggy.
Well, you have Miss Piggy tendencies, and I think we actually have a Kermit Miss Piggy dynamic.
I think we really do. Wallace and Gromit. And then it's kind of up for debate who wants to be who.
Well, I would think I would be Wallace and you would clearly be Gromit.
I think that's true.
Because even though you talk, you kind of do have a Gromit kind of like you're just like this little adventurer.
Yeah. And I could be sexy Gromit.
Yeah.
I would do like lingerie Gromit.
Yeah, because you're right. Whenever Gromit fucks in Wallace and Gromit, it's really not sexy. Also, not to be rude, how could Gromit be sexy? Gromit doesn't have a mouth even.
He doesn't have a mouth. You would like that, wouldn't you?
Well, it's like if Gromit didn't have a mouth, it's also probably Gromit doesn't have like orifices. So how could Gromit be sexy?
I think I would do some sort of really tight nude suit, big black nose. I think this would be a cute costume.
And
for
then
us.
I
I'm
would
like,
do
don't
obviously
know.
just like dressed like an Englishman with
Yeah,
tweed.
you just have a little sweater vest tie. I would love for you to do the bald cap, but you probably wouldn't.
I probably would not be enthusiastic about Wallace and Gromit because Wallace is not like something aspirational or cool. If I could choose to be anything, why would I choose to be Wallace? Gromit?
Grommy.
Time to eat crackers. Those were always so unsettling to me when I was a kid. There was something very like eerie about Wallace and Gromit.
I think claymation was meant to wake up America's children.
Yeah. And be like, it's not all fun and games.
Yeah. British children always had an understanding
That things were gonna go
Yeah,
bad.
but like I think American children, British claymation was their first exposure to like, oh, some weird shit going on in the
Well, because
world.
in America, it's like if I said about like, oh, there's a human character and his animal sidekick. The human character was a princess and her animal sidekick was like this cute, magical little creature, you know? It was like Jasmine and her tiger.
Right.
But the Brits were like, no, the human is like a middle-aged,
he's
lonely
just
recluse.
a middle-aged recluse.
And the dog is dog's really not about having a fun time. The
No.
dog just says silent mute. What else do you have for couples
Jasmine
costumes?
and the tiger is a good costume.
That would be good. You'd be Jasmine.
We could also be Jasmine and Jafar. That's kind of kinky. I'm sorry I said that. Okay. I have Posh Spice and David Beckham. So I have Victoria and David Beckham. I think we could do like the 90s vibe. My only thing with that is it's not funny.
And my only thing with that is I don't think people it's not easily recognizable. They're not really in the zeitgeist. Much love to them, but
This costume idea I like is Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise in Eyes Wide Shut.
specifically,
Yeah. And that might be kind of a deep pull, but I think like if we were to do it just for the podcast or as a swipe photo, that might be good.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking about like in the Instagram of it all. What would get likes?
What would be the best swipe? What we could do is we could do Bon Jovi's son and Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh, I like that.
If we wanted to be a little like play to the youth a little bit.
Yeah, and we could have a bunch of stuffed animals to be all their dogs.
Yeah. We could adopt a baby to be like the baby they adopted.
Do you know anyone? Do you have any adoption connects? No, What
don't
if the
think I
baby we
do.
adopted is more famous than me?
Well, I think we'd have to go to a Spirit Halloween that had moved into an adoption center, so we could kind of do two for one shopping. You know what I think it's time for? I think it's time for Influencer of the Week.
Influencer of the week is where I explain and teach Robert, my dumb fiance, about a cool hot girl influencer that I'm obsessed with at the moment. And today I will be talking about an influencer I've been obsessed with for a really long time. And she is a bikini entrepreneur from Canada. She has 2 sisters. And when she started blowing up on social media, her bikini business also started blowing up. And she recently purchased an apartment in Switzerland. And she's been making little vlogs of her new Swiss life, and she has a boyfriend and he is a golf apparel entrepreneur, so they're both apparel entrepreneurs, and she's just so girly and fun and successful. She's a girl boss, but she's like also like relatable, and her life just looks so incredible. And she's like from a really big happy family. goals. Do you have any questions about her?
My question is, like, it seems kind of counterintuitive to live in Canada and be a bikini entrepreneur. They don't even have the weather to support bikinis up there.
She does a lot of, like, when she was first starting, she'd do a lot of jokes about, like, haha, like going to the lake and, like, you know, shooting bikini content in freezing cold weather.
And that was kind of the...
Yeah, that was like a gimmick, kind of.
And here's what I will say. If she's a bikini entrepreneur and she's from a big, happy family, I would assume she's from money. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, it's fair to say that she's from money, definitely from money. Apparently, from what I've heard just scrolling, her dad like owns weed in Canada or something. Like,
her dad owns weed in Canada.
That's literally what people say. People say that her dad owns weed in Canada. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But she's in Switzerland.
Now she's in Switzerland, part-time at least. And then she does this really cool thing that everyone on the internet is like, oh my God, that's so smart. Like, she's so smart, where she plans all of her bikini drops around like vacations. So every bikini drop that the company does, they go to a different country to launch it, and they shoot all their content in that country. And so they can write off the whole trip as a business expense.
I will say, every single time I hear someone talking about, oh, you don't just write off a trip as a business expense, I'm like, you're going to jail.
But they really do it, and they document the whole thing. Like, you can like literally see that
but
the business
you're going
trip
to jail.
But they're not going to go to jail.
A lot of
because
people
their dad
think-
owns weed in Canada.
Listen to what you just said to me. Do you have any idea who I
she's
am?
never
My
gonna go to
father
jail.
is the biggest drug dealer in a country no one respects.
I think Canada's on the come up. If I could get geopolitical on him really quick, I think Canada is surpassing America right now as we speak.
Okay, in the future, can you wait for me to respond when you ask if you can get geopolitical? Because sometimes I need to prepare for you to get geopolitical.
Well, I got geopolitical. I think Canada is coming for America's #1 spot. I haven't heard anyone in America chant, "We're #1" in a really long time.
Yeah, and you've tried to get a lot of those chants going, and they never take off.
No, but again, no one ever wants to chant with me.
Who do they want to chant with? Going back to the thing about, like, it's always the people who have, like, they have some, like, business hack that is clearly just a white-collar crime, and they think because they have thus far not been arrested that therefore they must have, like, figured something out. I saw a guy who was like, yeah, so what I do is I don't take vacations. What I do is every single vacation, I make sure I have a conversation where we talk business. And that way I can write it off as a business trip. And it's like, this will be played in court. This will be played in court.
To me, I'm like, how can something be a crime if I didn't know about it? Like, how can that be a crime? I didn't know.
You know.
I literally am like, they make up a ton of weird rules. And it's like, I didn't even know there was a rule book I was supposed to be reading.
The law? The rule book.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm like, to know the law, that's not my job.
This is you after you shot someone in the chest. You're holding a smoking gun and you're like, what? Was there a rule book? I didn't see it.
I didn't see the rule book.
You didn't see the rule book?
I didn't see the rule book. Plausible deniability. That's my favorite phrase. I had no idea. Your Honor, I plead I'm stupid.
You know that stupid pleas count as guilty. They send you away for a long time. You're like, Your Honor, I plead as being a little bit of a dum-dum. And the judge is like, oh, well, that's a very funny plea. 3 lifetime sentences.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what happens. Do you think you'll be able to record this podcast from prison?
Yeah, if you put enough like money in my commissary account and I make friends. We always talk about this. Would you be popular in prison?
Yeah.
And my thing is that I think initially no. And then in like the week 2 or 3, people would find out that like they thought I was funny. And I would have a little bit of a moment where it's like, ha, we love Dana. Yeah, Dana, come sit with us. And then they would all turn on me probably around week 4 or 5. And it would just be straight hell from there on out.
So you're saying if you got like a 3-week prison sentence, week 1, people would find you shrill and annoying.
Yeah.
Around week 2 and 3, they would come around.
Yeah,
and if you get let out at the end of week 3, you're
good.
leaving on a high.
I'm good.
Stick around for week 4. It'll come back full circle. They'll turn on you.
They'll turn on me again.
Here's the thing. I just like generally don't do well with like groups of men.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like guys just don't really like me that much.
Yeah, but how would you respond to that?
Here's how I would use my skill set to survive prison.
Okay.
Day 1 in prison, I walk up to the biggest, strongest, baddest inmate in there, and I asked him to play Zip Zap Zop. I use my skill set, which is improvisational comedy.
Right.
And I walk up, it's day 1.
Yeah.
I walk up right through the cafeteria, biggest, baddest, like strongest guy in the prison. And I say, hey, they say, you're the man around here. And he says, yeah, I'm the man. Who are you? And I go, Zip And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to zap.
Yeah.
And
does he?
Well, when I come to from the beating, I'll now be in the infirmary, and then I'm can kind of wait it out in there.
I don't want to go to prison.
But you do seem to want me to go to prison based on your tax advice.
I just want to be able to plan a trip and write it off and have that be chill. Like all the hot girls online do.
Yeah, I just want to walk into a bank, leave with other people's money in a big bag, and have that be chill.
Just like all the other hot girls do.
Just like the hot girls do it.